Welcome to the Millionaire Mindcast, where we broadcast weekly interviews with millionaire minds from across the globe to empower you on your journey of unlocking a rich and fulfilling life. It's time to unleash your millionaire within. Now, here's your host, Maddie A.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Millionaire Mindcast, the show that focuses on all things mindset, money, and motivation to help you increase your income, impact, and influence. I'm Maddie A. As always, it's great to be sharing another week's worth of motivating conversation and content with you. Today's guest is an amazing one. This millionaire worth modeling after is only 25 years old. She's an absolute rock star entrepreneur. She's been named 30 under 30. Hershey Hilado, if you haven't heard her name, you definitely will moving forward. She's breaking onto the scene and has really positioned herself as a millennial influencer and a motivator in many different capacities, especially for a lot of young women. She has a crazy story, a very inspiring story at that. She was sold into marriage by her parents at the age of 14 years old. She's from the Philippines. And through that, she actually broke away, ended up finding her dad's side of the family. Come to find out, her father was murdered by her uncle, his brother. Made her way back to her original family and ended up, helping raise 7 other kids. So you can imagine, at a young age like that, the maturity level and just the harsh reality of what life is. She could have went a completely different direction, and she didn't. She really took this amazing approach, and you can tell just by her heart that she's got a lot of grit and tenacity. And in this episode, we talk a lot about her journey as an entrepreneur and just the overall, growth as an individual through those experiences. We talk about this new definition of what rich means, right? On this show, on this channel, we talk a lot about wealth and lifestyle and health. And it's interesting to hear the perspective of Hershey, and also really where the millennial generation is, giving a lot of time and attention to when it comes to wealth. It's not all about money, right? She shared a lot about relational wealth and how money is not the only currency now. And really, she's designed her life around this mindset and approach. She also talked and shared what she believes is the #1 dream killer that a lot of entrepreneurs are allowing to plague them, and that's what's holding them back. We dove into 3 things every person should do before bed. This is a strategy that she does and also what I've seen other high performers do. So I thought it was cool that she highlighted that. And we just had an overall great conversation. Loved her energy. She brought it. So make sure wherever you're at, wherever you're listening to this, get a pen handy, take some great notes, and I'm sure she's going to drop some wisdom bombs that will help you on your march to $1 million and beyond. So if you want to sit down, get in a quiet place, make sure that you're distraction free and dive into this episode. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, feel free to subscribe below and leave a like on this video, and we'll go ahead and dive into the episode with Hershey Hilado. Welcome to the show today, Hershey Hilado. What's up, girl?
Oh man, I am pumped. I love your energy, and I really enjoyed connecting with people like yourself, like so young but so successful. Not financially, but I can really feel your energy just looking at you over the screen.
Well, we had an awesome conversation here. So it's actually nighttime, or I guess morning time now for you in the Philippines. And you were telling me a little bit about your journey and what you've been up to and where you're off to next. And I want to unpack all of that. But for those that don't know who Hershey is, right? The 30 under 30 successful businesses. You've, done so much, and you're 25 years old, which is always exciting and inspiring to talk with other hard-charging entrepreneurs that are young, but are also very aware and heart-centered and well-balanced in many areas of life. So I want to get people the opportunity to get to know you a little bit better. Tell us a little bit about who you are and, where you've led up to over these last 25 years.
Yeah, wow. It's, sometimes when I talk about it, it's like, shit, what happened to my life? Well, basically, I'm a high school dropout. I only finished a 3rd year high school here in the Philippines. I've raised 7 children since I was 14. I was sold to by my own mother since I was practically since I was 12 years old. And when I was 16, she sold me to a Korean businessman in exchange for money. And and that became one of the biggest adversities of my life, because I was married to this man for a day, and I escaped that, and I became homeless in Manila until I found my way to my father's side family, because my mom and my dad were separated in such a young age. And by the way, my dad was murdered by my own uncle when I was 12. So basically, I've grown up really, really tough. I've experienced being hungry, going to school with nothing. It's really hard childhood, because I've got involved into a gang, stealing merchandise in shopping centers, getting arrested like 6 times a month, like, your experience as well. I had a gun pointed in my head at one point because my activity, like being an outlaw, became really, really bad, in a point where I was very, really, really rebellious. Like I probably have never, to be honest, to this stage, I'd say that those adversities, my shortcomings, and the things that I've experienced growing up became the greatest opportunity of my life.
Yeah, man, that is an amazing journey for someone to actually look back, in hindsight, and overcome all of those things. A lot of people could have played the victim card and just said, look, this is my life. This is the way it's going to be. This is what I know. And we'll figure it out. But you said, screw that. Right. And I've also found that a lot of entrepreneurs seem to come from very turbulent backgrounds or have hardships, and not all do, but I look at entrepreneurship as a way out for a lot of people, right? And you've really capitalized on that.
I think the way I see it, adversity gives us 3 choices, and that is to either deny, cope, or thrive. And I think one of the reasons why there's a lot of entrepreneurs that had a really tough upbringing, it's because once you've experienced adversity in such a young age, you become so matured, so far matured than the rest of the people around you, that going with the flow of the society is too hard, because your priorities change, your mindset changes. And the only way that you feel like you are doing your own thing is when you start creating something that is so unique and is so uniquely yours. The vision is yours and everything. I think we find comfort in being an entrepreneur. It's because it allows us to express ourselves without judgment from other people.
Yeah, that's, I think, something that a lot of people struggle with too. And especially at a young age, as you're coming into, this acceptance of your identity, embracing your identity, and really just figuring out what actually your identity is. A lot of people either fall into line, majority of us do, right? A lot of people fall into line because that's what we're told we must do. And then others go, no, this ain't for me. So you talked about adversity really becoming an advantage for you. And I would agree with that, because my greatest hardships have been my greatest teachers. And obviously how we respond to those hardships determines what path and direction we go down. What was one of your greatest kind of learning lessons at a young age that allowed you to turn that corner?
It's responsibility. Pressure creates diamonds. I will always, that is one quote that really stuck by me. It's because without the responsibility of 7 kids in my shoulders, I wouldn't be able to do the impossible. Because back then, having no education, I couldn't even speak English. I didn't finish high school. People were telling me, you're not going to get anywhere in life. But you know what? And it's one of the greatest speeches I have ever heard in my whole entire life came from people that told me that I can't do something. Because those people now, I would go back into the province, they look at me like, I'm like, shit, we couldn't believe that you are the way you are now, and you're still so young. And again, success is the sweetest revenge. Like and I don't even look at it that way anymore, because for me now, I'm just living my life and just doing something in line with my purpose and in my values in life. The word success, it's so freaking overrated nowadays. So if you're happy and you're contributing something to the society, you are leaving a legacy. That's all it is.
Yeah. That's such a great point, because I feel like there are a lot of definitions that have been etched in stone for so long that are being disrupted and challenged right now. And you and I were talking a little bit about this when it comes to wealth. People have a different definition of wealth. When it comes to success, now people have a different definition of success. And, there is no right or wrong answer. I think it comes back to the perception of the individual and who's living it, right? What is your definition of success?
My definition of success is living authentically, living in a way that it's almost like it's gonna, not everyone would accept the way I would say it. It's like really my attitude in life. It's like, I don't give a flying fuck of what people think about me. For as long as I know that I am doing the right thing for other people, that I'm not hurting anyone, and I am adding more value to their lives, that's all it is for me. Because I keep asking myself, like, I do so much for other people. Like, why is that? And people's like, hey, Hersh, you're not doing anything. You're not doing enough for you. So no, it's like, this is what makes me Hershey. This is what Hershey's. I want people to talk about me when I'm gone. When my time comes, I want people to talk about me. That woman did everything that she could to add value to the society and make other people's lives better. She made use of her life. That's what I want people to talk about me. And it's, I don't work for my first name. I work for my last name. It's all about leaving a legacy that will live through time and will serve millions more people without you being existing here on planet Earth. For me, that is success.
It's amazing. I was having a conversation with Jeff Hoffman, who's the billionaire founder of Priceline. And, I was asking him, I'm going into interviewer mode and I'm asking all these questions. I'm always curious every time I get to be around somebody, just soak up that information. And I asked him that same question. I said, Jeff, what is your definition of success? And it was very similar to yours. One, he said, everybody has their own definition, but my definition is if I were to ask somebody, if they felt they had a successful life or not, their response would be that they looked back on their life and they said, wow, that was one hell of a ride. And, the success that people, put in a specific cubby is not necessarily, success to somebody else. But if that individual can just say, you know what, I lived a hell of a life. I got to impact a lot of people. I had a lot of challenges along the way. Man, that was one hell of a ride. That's success to him. So I just love to hear people's different definitions of success, because, everybody has something different written down. And you're living your own definition of success right now, which I want to commend you on. I think that's amazing.
Now, man, to be honest, I think as you hold yourself on a higher standards, let's say my definition of success before is financial freedom, because all I wanted to do is to provide for my family, for the 7 kids that I was raising. For me, that was the definition of success. But when I got there, I realized to myself, nah, there's still something missing. No, that's not what success is. Money is just a byproduct of the things that I do for the world. And then when you get there, like, nah. It's until you finally get into, it's like business is a spiritual journey. Like, and you'll get to find out when you actually really hit your plateau, you realize that success really is just living authentically, living true to your purpose. And for me, I refuse to go to sleep every night without doing 3 things. And that is to serve, surrender myself in total selflessness, and impact someone or people. It's those 3 things: serve, surrender, impact. I live through that purpose every single day.
That is amazing. And now a lot of people, I would say some people do this, but not consistently. But there's one word in there that I think a lot of us struggle with that I want to get your take on, being that this is a discipline for you. This is a success habit for you, is surrender. And I know a lot of us, are constantly, you know, like kind of button heads almost with, you know, this whole idea of surrender. And a lot of it has to do with the ego preventing us from surrendering. What is, you know, your take on this? How do you implement surrender in your daily practice?
That question that I would always ask myself is, am I serving me or am I serving other people? Because surrendering yourself in total selflessness, it means getting rid of every, like, that ego part of you. And, you know, as human beings, we're very selfish. We're very, very selfish. Most of the time when we give, we expect something back, like in return. But I believe that if we're not giving, we're short-circuiting the flow of the universe. Somehow, if you give today, it may not come back to you today, but it will come back to you later on. But the real essence of surrendering yourself in total selflessness is really detaching yourself from ego, because that's stopping people from giving most of the time, because we're selfish. So, you know, we only think of ourselves. But you know what? True fulfillment lies in giving, not in taking. Because that's why I always tell young entrepreneurs, say, invest in yourself, because you can't give what you don't have. That's just the simple fact of that.
Yep. Yeah. If you're not whole, you're not going to be able to give something that you don't have internally, you know, mastered in your own life. So, and that's one of the things that goes back to authenticity too. I think, you know, now everybody is, you know, calling themselves a life coach or a speaker or this or that, right? And it's a very crowded space. Not everybody is that. And after doing more research and getting to know you more, I mean, you are absolutely the real deal. And so what is some of the work that you're doing with a lot of, you know, your clients right now? And what is one thing that you see really limiting a lot of people in their life that is easily overcome?
It's self-doubt. And I had this really interesting conversation with one of my mentees last night. I was listening to her conversation. Like, people needs to be aware of their language. If you listen to the way people speak, you will get to know what's stopping them in getting to the next level. And most of the time, my mentees, what I'm listening to is self-doubt. And I said to them, self-doubt has killed more dreams than any man did, because nobody is capable of killing your dreams unless you allow it. And these are simple facts of the inner conversation that is happening in your head. Because, you know, you've got to be careful on what you say, because you are listening. This is why I don't watch TV. I don't listen to anything other than personal development for the last 7 years of my life, because I believe that my input determines my output all that time. That is just the exchange. You know, it's self-doubt. It's really self-doubt.
You know, it really is I call it the drunk monkey, where, you know, it's like this little, you know, belligerent monkey on our shoulder. Just, you can't do it. You're not going to be successful. Right. And it's like, once you can shove that off your shoulder, and really kind of turn on your reticular activating system to engage with the things that will serve your mission and serve your purpose and get you into action, that limiting belief, that drunk monkey kind of just falls off your shoulder. I love the fact that you don't watch TV, and this has been a very common theme amongst many people, right? It's garbage in, garbage out, same kind of thing, right? Greatness in, greatness out. So what other success disciplines and habits do you implement in your life that you see you've either modeled after other successful people, or you see others lacking that you want to make sure you avoid?
So there's two things that I do consistently. So every new year, this is something that my mentor passed on to me. Every new year, I commit to one word. You know, when people create this long list of New Year's resolution and stuff, like, I personally can't follow that, because I'm shit with that. So he always asked me to, okay, last year it was the word discipline. So that one word commands every part of my life. So last year I needed to be more disciplined with my finances. So every Friday I do a financial, strategy. I would look at all my numbers every Friday night. Yeah, I need to be more disciplined with my health and business and stuff. Like, so it commands every areas of my life, and it's just, it really got me to really look at where I am heading for the next 5 years. Just one word. And this year I chose the word progress. So everything that I do is all about progress. That's why I made the decision of packing all my shit, selling everything that I had in Sydney, and I'm going to travel around the world because I felt that with staying in Sydney, there's still more progress for me. I need to see the world, put myself into different cultures and learning from other people what to do and what not to do, because I know that it will take me to the next level. So that would be one of the things that I do once a year. Second one is the first thing that I do in the morning before I get up, before I even wash my mouth or have my dose of caffeine, I would sit down next to my bed and think of 3 small things I'm very grateful for. And it has to be really small, one of the examples I always use is, I am grateful for the pen that I'm going to use today to journal, because without that, I cannot put all my thoughts into paper and paper into my social media accounts where it changes people's lives. I literally get messages from people saying, Hirsch, what you posted today, that's all I needed to hear. And, and simple things like that, I'm grateful for my pen. I'm grateful for my coffee because I can't operate without my coffee. I'm grateful for my family, most of all. So it's stuff like that. So those are the 2 things that I do regularly.
I love that. And it's something as little as a pen, right? We're sitting here saying, somebody like, she's grateful for a pen. What? But the fact of how you just mentally took that from the pen to the paper, to the thoughts that come off that, to where you distribute it into the world and how you use that as value and contribution and what that impact translates into. It started with a pen. Right. Mm-hmm. And so I just love that you are that intentional and aware, because I think a lot of us, it gets easy to say, man, I got a flat tire today and, I missed my flight. And there's so many things that we focus on that essentially don't serve us. And yet if we were to give time and attention to the areas that really, fill our cup and allow us to have an impact and live the life that we want, those things are amplified and they start compounding. And it's just something as little as small as gratitude, which I found being an amazing discipline for, all people who practice this, seeing great results in various areas of their life. So you were saying now that you packed up all your stuff and you're feeling drawn out into this world of opportunity and, new experiences and relationships. And you and I were having this conversation of, the new definitions, right? We talked about kind of success. We talked about wealth, and you shared something that resonated heavily with me. And I think it definitely resonates with a lot of millennials, and now kind of some of the, older generations who critique us so much are like, I kind of want to do what they're doing. Like, that sounds pretty cool. So tell me, what is your definition of wealth and how are you actually living that out in your life right now?
It came to me this year. Wealth is, it's all about relational wealth. I built my business out of relationships with people. I built myself and my personal growth by not just reading shit off books, but actually going to that place and being present in that moment. Wealth is all about balance. It's all about balancing. I view with people all the time before when they say to me, you got no balance. It's like, oh, I don't need the balance. Like, I'll just work 24/7. I love what I do. I get that we're so passionate about, the business and all that, and we just want to work. But then I realized that I am actually burning myself out without knowing that. It's because I find myself working 3 days in a row. I was a maniac. I would just work 3 days in a row. And then after 2 weeks, I would just 2 days, you will not disturb me. I'm locked in my room and I'll just sleep for 2 days straight. And I get, and it accumulates, that void that, you just work and work. Yes, you work out of passion, but still you're not a robot. Wealth is about finding happiness and balance in each area of your life and be grateful for each one of them. The one thing that my mentor taught me is that, Hirsch, you have to be grateful with the things that got you to the point that you are now. Because I've got 3 businesses now. And I was just telling him, I was having this thought of, okay, I think I want to sell my first business because, I've got these 2 other opportunities and they're making a lot of cash flow and stuff like that. Normally in business sense, you look at the financials like, oh, they're making more money, so I'll put my focus there more.
Mm-hmm.
But again, sometimes we forget to be grateful of, what brought us to this point. And again, really wealth is just having an amazing support system around you, whether by blood or by people that you just met along the way. And I've been really, really blessed by meeting strangers that became friends and friends that became family. That's what wealth is all about.
I love that. It's such a great perspective to kind of throw out there, because I think a lot of people equate wealth to, just what's sitting in your bank account. And there is so much more to this definition of wealth, this whole life millionaire kind of mindset of, living like a millionaire financially, but also, that doesn't mean having a bunch of cars and a big house, with jewelry everywhere. It could be richness in experiences and relationships, like what you're talking about. And
the biggest, the bigger picture there is that it doesn't matter where I go in the world now. I know I'm going to get looked after, not because that I have money to pay for my hotels, because I know in every part of the world, I have built relationship with people, relational wealth, that they will offer me a bed. And that's wealth. Like money is not the only currency in the world. And if you have trust, respect, and love from other people, that's what wealth is, something that you cannot buy.
Money is not the only currency in the world. That is a tweetable quote right there, ladies and gentlemen. So as you are traveling at the same time, one of the things that I always love to talk about and kind of get your take on is your definition of wealth is what you just shared. At the same time, though, you are thinking there's an awareness around your financial goals, right? You told me you just bought your 4th investment property and you're making some intelligent, financial decisions as well. So what does kind of your wealth vision from, a monetary standpoint and approach look like?
To be honest, I didn't plan. I didn't write it down on my goals this year that I'm going to have my 3rd and 4th investment property this year. I didn't write that. For me, opportunity pops all the time. You just need to be flexible with it. If something doesn't, it's not going to make you money, then move on. I guess you just need to be aware of what you know. And if you don't know, then ask somebody else that knows. As for me, with the finances, it comes and go, right? Money is so superficial and so shallow that sometimes making it so complicated just gives you a fucking headache, to be honest.
Yeah.
So for me, I keep it simple. If my real estate agent here in the Philippines says that there's a really good investment here with a 200% ROI, I look at that and if it sounds good to me, it looks good to me, I'll go and check out the place. I checked it out today and shared it on my Instagram stories, and it looks really good. And there's a lot of tenants there, and it's a no-brainer. I'm really flexible in terms of my finances. I study all the time. I know what my numbers looks like. I think that's all it matters. Because if you know how much you have, you know how much you can invest and how much you can make back. So it's a very simple equation.
So you're constantly investing, obviously, in financial opportunities. I know you're always investing in yourself as well. Who are some of your favorite people to follow and keep up with right now that just, deposit greatness into your life every day?
At the moment, I love Gallant Deal. Gallant Deal is one of the 30 under 30 guys on the list with me this last year in Influensive. I really love his approach. He's young. He's my age. He's very aggressive. His approach in business is very aggressive, but he also have a lot of heart in him. I love that he shares his story. So Gallant Deal is one of the guys. Second one is Prince A. I love Prince A.
He's always putting out good stuff.
Oh, he's just a beautiful soul.
Yeah. So as you continue to kind of travel around the world, what do the next 5 years look like for you? Are you like projecting a vision out into, let's say, like, you know, the next 5 years for me looks like this and I'd love to have this? Or are you kind of just like, you take in 6 months at a time, 12 months at a time? Like, what does your projection for your future look like?
In 5 years' time, I mean, I had this question asked by one of my friends. We were taking a 2 o'clock morning walk the other night, and she asked me, "Hey, how do you see yourself in 5 years' time?" To be honest, I see myself as one of the most powerful millennial entrepreneur, and I know I'm already there. I believe that if there's a power in believing in something that doesn't happen yet, because these recognition that I am now getting, that women watch in 2017 and shit like that, this is so far-fetched, man. Like, from where I came from, never in my life I have thought that I am going to be in a list and I'm going to the US and doing what I'm doing now. But I think the most powerful thing that any entrepreneur can have is the power to walk by faith, not by sight. Because most people, 90% of the population, the reason why they stop in their journey on following their dreams is they only see straight road. And when they get into the bend and they can't see where the bend is taking them, they stop. It's because they walk by sight. But if you're walking by faith, you are believing in something that doesn't yet exist, but you know that you'll get there. And that's freaking powerful.
It's such a great point. I love the comment of, you know, walk a little bit further and you'll see a lot more. And oftentimes when you can't see what's ahead of you or what's around that corner, you know, you do have to fall back onto faith. It's either faith or fear, right? You're gonna give into one of them. And it sounds like, and I know you choose, you know, faith to keep motivating and pushing you. So I'm curious, as we wrap up, you know, what is one of the most exciting things that you're working on right now, and how can we keep up with it?
I think one of the most exciting things that I'm doing now is I just recently acquired a company here in the Philippines. It's called Aitchison. So it's like a high-level outsourcing company. But like with my trips now, in the next couple of months, I'm going to be speaking in a lot of entrepreneurial communities in each country that I visit. I'm also speaking in a lot of universities here in the Philippines, around Asia as well. So I think I really want young people to realize that, yes, education is important, but there's more to education that gets us to success. You know, there's a lot of things like mindset, work ethics, and getting shit done. It's not about just praying and waiting for something to give something to you, because, you know, change starts when you start doing. So it really is about raising awareness of what's possible out there, if only they get rid of the fears and the limitations that the society has instilled in them, you know?
You're awesome. It's been fun hanging out and getting to connect with you. What's one last, you know, comment or piece of advice for those that are, you know, intentionally, you know, hustling and marching towards obviously hitting a certain level of success, but also, you know, financially passing through that, you know, millionaire milestone as they continue on this journey? What do you want to tell them? What do you want to leave them with?
You know, I've experienced this myself. I know that the road can get really, really lonely. And I guess when you hit that roadblock of, it's like, you know, you experience all these financial success and you know, you're taking care of your family, the people that you care about, but you still feel the void. Travel. Just start walking. Don't stop. Just start walking, because the only way that you can feel that gray area that it's lurking in your soul is to see what's out there and be grateful for what we have. Because, man, our chances to be even existing in this planet is like freaking, you know what, 1.1%, you know? And just by breathing and being present, just talking to you and being in this environment right now, just be freaking grateful. Be grateful for what you have. And again, if you hit a roadblock, just start walking. Don't stop. Don't just sit in the corner and cry and get into the pity train. Book yourself a flight to Mauritius or in the Philippines. Come and hang out with me.
I love it. So for all those that want to follow what you're up to, obviously we're going to link up all of your websites and stuff that you're up to, social media handles in the show notes. But why don't you give a shout out just in case someone's driving and they want to look you up right now?
Guys, follow me on Instagram. It's Hershey_official. And also in Facebook. So it's just Hershey Hilado. And I've got a lot of videos on YouTube as well. You can just look me up under my name, but I'd love to connect.
Hershey, we appreciate you. Have a good one.
Well, that does it for this week's Millionaire Worth Modeling. Hershey's an absolute badass. I think we can all agree on that now. And really cool just hearing what her vision is for the future. And I really enjoyed just her approach to life. I mean, someone who is faced with that kind of challenge and adversity, her not only will to push through it, but to also prosper through it. And she had some great perspectives. I really liked how she doesn't watch TV, and the purpose of that is she believes it's all garbage, right? Garbage in, garbage out. Instead, she likes to focus her time, energy, and attention on things that uplift her and serve her in achieving her goals in the life that she wants, and that takes discipline. And in order for greatness to go out, greatness has to come in on a daily basis. So I really appreciated that practice that she has implemented in her life. Also just highlighting the fact that the number one dream killer is self-doubt. And I think in all stages of life, whether it's with your finances and wealth, whether it's with your professional career, whether it's a relationship, a friendship, whatever it may be, self-doubt easily creeps into our lives on a daily basis. And it goes back to the language, right? How we not only talk to ourselves, but the conversations that we're having around us. I'm a big believer that we grow into the conversations around us. And how cool would it be to have someone like Hershey in your sphere of influence on a daily basis? Thought she was just a really inspiring individual, and that's why we bring on these amazing guests each and every week. So if you want to make sure that you're continuing to get motivational content on a weekly basis with our guests and other stuff that we put on the channel, feel free to subscribe below, hit a like button, leave us a comment, or if you want those sent directly to your email with some of the additional tools and resources we have available for the exclusive Millionaire Mindcast community, text the word millionaire to 44222. It'll just shoot you a quick text message back. Give us your email, and we'll be sure to make sure you're sent those updates on a weekly basis. Always just trying to add value, no spam. Just want to make sure that we are able to deliver that in whatever capacity and channel works best for you. So until next time, keep investing in yourself and your wealth on your march to $1 million and beyond. Cheers, my friends.